Fun fact about myself.
Yeah, rap sheet, man. Give it to us.
When I, hey, I'll give it anyway.
Go on. Show us, dude. Show us.
No, I'll put that pressure.
There's actually a fun fact that I have.
Oh my days. I don't know if I'm exposing myself, but I'll send it anyway. When I was younger, I used to like eating rice, like just raw.
Like the grains.
Yeah, no, so you know when you're cooking rice, before it starts becoming soft and whatnot, I used to like
Medium rare.
yeah, but hey, I've stopped those immature ways. I've grown up. But I don't know why. that's the one that came to mind. So hey, we send it.
Yeah,
we send
it.
Hello, dreamers and thinkers, and welcome to another episode of Undone. Before we begin, like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, if you guys would like to give and help us keep doing what we love, buy me a coffee. You'll be right there. On today's episode, I am joined by a really beautiful family to have what I believe is an important conversation in the day and age that we are in as a society, even more specifically as a community in Melbourne, Australia. And I'm so excited for you guys to be a part of this. I was really blessed and encouraged watching this, being a part of it, and I hope that you are too.
I'm Isaac. I am the youngest, the last one of the family. What else? I'm a student and I'm studying to be a teacher. So I'm at Deakin University and hopefully, by God's grace, I'll be done next year. So
Come on. Yeah, I don't think I have a fun fact on the go. But my name is Josh. I am the middle child. No one knows I'm here. I'm 26 years old, and yeah, I'm also studying. How much info should I give? I'm a believer in Christ. Come on, man. Born again Christian. Yeah, Isaac forgot that one still.
I'm also a believer too.
Yeah, that's me, man. That's me.
All right. Not fun fact. My name is Elijah. I am 29 years of age. And
Crazy.
What do? I work in superannuation. I give retired people their money back. And if I'm not doing that, I'm at church. I'm all about the youth.
Oh, yes, Pastor.
The next generation.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
Fun fact is, I love playing drums and basketball. Those are my two
Passions. Come on, man. It's good.
All right. I'm Melvin. Actually, Melvin Agwenyu Mayaka. Born in 1963, so I'll be turning 62 this year.
Wow.
And I'm born again.
Yeah.
I was saved on 22nd of April 1984 at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was born. I was born in Kisii Town. And the midwife was from Australia. She was Victorian, what is called Victorian midwives. And so Victorian midwives used to go to the developing countries, then third world countries so called, but so so my mother, I think, asked, give my son a name. So she said, oh, I come from Melbourne, so I call him Melbourne. And so, however, they didn't get the spelling and the name right, so that's how I got my name, Melbourne.
Come on. Yeah.
So I always tell people, Melbourne, what's your name? I tell them, Melbourne. I tell them, Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then this. Then where does that come from? I tell, there's a story.
It's a lot. It's a long way. Honestly.
That and
That's it. Good stuff.
what do you do? I'm pastor. I founded the West Liberty Church in 1916. But I'm also a lecturer. I teach. I lecture in, we call it, I lecture in entrepreneurship. Actually, research topics in entrepreneurship and research topics in strategic management, research topics in, actually, right now I'm teaching, it's called literature review. So how to prepare for literature, to prepare to do research. So I'm teaching research students to prepare for research, for thesis writing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, educated. Educated. My first question is to Uncle. Growing up, what did you see fatherhood looking like in your culture or community?
Wow. Now I'll start with some interesting facts. I come from a polygamous family. My dad had 5 wives. They're all late. And we were 35 kids.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that dad was not always at home, so he kind of rotated in his homes.
It's a rough stuff, man.
He, so the days out, my friend, although dad was a friend, he was really good, really. He used to call me when he was really happy. He called me Born. You know, it's like Born for Melbourne. You know, it's wow. That was the funniest moment. When he called me Born, I knew he was very happy. Called me over. Didn't want me to be in kitchen. You know, he wanted me to be around him, around men, not too much of kitchen. But he, of course, because of that, he was not there always, but whenever he was there, we really had good time together. Told me stories, told me things, and you know, but he loved education. He loved education so much. Unfortunately, again, that because of that, I had to leave home to stay with our elder sister in that big family of 35, the Fatma. So I schooled away for much of my primary school from class 3 because he wanted me to have a better education. And part of the reason that happened is that at home I was very naughty. I had become very naughty in the village. And in fact, that's fun moments. So there is I used to look after cows. And our cows, we take them to some place for pasture. Unfortunately, my love for soccer was overwhelming. So I always left the cows and came back to the marketplace to play. Guess what? The cows, sometimes trespassed and went to the neighbors. And there's a normal cry. I used to hear a sudden cry, and I know the cows have gone to the neighbors. I know that evening they're going to be fun. So, but anyway, and so that for that reason that Dad decided that I go. But my dad was okay. Of course, my dad made sure that, thankfully, for all of us, real estate, technically everybody lives on my father's estate today. Wow. As in they've got enough room, so he provided, education, he provided land. Really, everybody has technically, has a place, and so he loved all his children. Sometimes we did the wrong things, still loved us, and still got close. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you were missing out on anything, or were you happy with what he provided and how he showed up?
He showed up. Okay, I felt sometimes the miss. Of course, we missed out on things. We didn't always have everything. Obviously, the competition there to have we didn't always have what we needed, and because we were many, and so sometimes but relatively, I think, younger days, it became more difficult towards retirement and all that. But because again, some of us came later because of that.
Yeah.
And so it became a bit of a struggle later. But generally speaking, there was always we didn't miss out a lot. His presence, interestingly, I felt his presence. I felt his presence, and I think part of the leadership, which runs a fair bit, we tend to take a bit of leadership. I think that has happened now in my own home. That I think it came from that. But my dad was always leading. He was always he was a chief, so he was a leader, and so I think I learned a lot about leadership from him. Not really like skills, but so much to be always ready to do something, ready to really take to initiate, to start something. Yeah, probably. I think it comes from there.
How is your dad's style of, fathering different from what you've seen in your friends' families?
I reckon I'll go. I'll kick it off. I think one thing I've seen my dad do is I think that my dad has invited conversation within our household, and so I have seen. I don't know if it was cautiously or I don't know if it was intentional or not, but somehow my dad was able to welcome conversation within the house. So we were able, that allowed us to talk. To talk with him. And particularly, I guess, when we started even growing up into our adult years, that is something I sort of saw we had as a family, as compared to my other peers or people in my age who would mention stuff like, I don't talk to my dad that often, or I wonder, and in my head I'm like, but I'm able to ask him this, or I'm able to say, how come this is not, So my dad has welcomed conversation in our household, which has helped us. Yeah.
I can go. I think he's been able to lead with integrity, and I think that meaning that he was always the same in-house and outside the house. So both publicly and privately, he's the same person. And being integral is being whole. So yeah, with humans, generally we tend to mask things, and but I think I've been able to see my dad be the same person outside, and even I know I've heard a lot of stories from like pastors' kids where the dad's one way in front of people, and then he's different.
Duality.
Yeah, so I've been able to see my dad be consistent outside and at home. So yeah.
Concur with everything been said as well. My one thing that I've noticed, I was thinking about is the way he raised us wasn't like I don't know. It's like the general rough and tumble style of like, you have to like get up, you know? He led with care. He led with care. And I could point to many situations where he's done that. But he definitely he didn't raise us to be the world's idea of a man, but he prioritized God's mold of a man. And so he led by example, which I think is like he hasn't taught us to do something he hasn't done. And so he's definitely led with integrity in that way. And yeah, just in comparison to what we generally see outside, there's a very loving approach that he has, that I guess others couldn't probably attest to. And that spills into the being able to just have conversation. Yeah. Like he's willing to sit down and talk. Okay, so what's going on? Whereas I guess in comparison to what we've seen as examples, there might not be that conducive environment for that. So yeah.
I love those answers. How did, and I guess you guys can speak to this as well.
Yeah.
How did navigating migration from Kenya to Australia impact how you showed up as a father, and I guess the dynamic within the home?
Actually, it worked very well. A number of things. One, I think it's a blessing. It became a blessing in a way that at home we would have a third person. We would have a
house help.
We would have maybe another uncle living around. So it became us and them. Now, it has helped us to be close. It helps us to be friends. I kind of, we relate. I relate to Elijah. It has helped to create a close relationship. That's what as a major positive. And of course, there was a struggle at the beginning. There was a struggle, of course, especially the little one, when they were younger. It was much when they started school, there was not so much of a problem as when they were younger. It's knowing that Elijah, we migrated the first time. We've had a long history though. The young, when they were younger, it was quite a struggle. I must say, to juggle between work and school and what else? And ministry as well. I mean, we've always served God along with that became also a struggle. Come here, the other bit that we found sometimes that of course I knew that kids were different, and sometimes he is a bit different, and so we thought we could think sometimes they would be influenced, but fortunately, I think you guys have been. I must say that you credit these guys. You guys have been really.
Come on. Come on.
I mean, shut up, Mama. And I couldn't have better kids. I really, these guys, you really done us proud. It's been a joy parenting them. So it made a whole lot of a difference. There was no major issue. I've never had issue in school. We didn't have a school like a case where we had to go to school because something went wrong. Mm-hmm. We went the normal parent, teachers, meetings, but nothing major. It's been, this can't remember any specific challenge other than that. Just really taking care and juggling, taking care of them. Yeah, that's been, but otherwise, great apart. It's been a joy.
Moving to Australia did bring us closer because we didn't have the like we were almost isolated in a way where we had to depend on each other, and when we were at home, the conversations were longer because we were all going through it together. Exactly, we enjoyed coming together, and those experiences, I guess, the changes from cultures, like the complete changes from cultures, was a big topic, and a good the stories were there.
And then this story, like actually Isaac, this story where they asked Isaac whether people in Africa eat on plates. Laughed, really laughed.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I think it was. We didn't as youngsters, we didn't see the full extent of the challenges during immigration, but in reflection, you could sort of see how the positives come out of those sort of things, So I can point to that.
And I don't know whether you include the struggle though. Coming was the struggle. Coming was because I experienced that. There was a bit of a journey coming here between us, the first instead of us wanting to come. I think they were part of that journey as well. So there was also a sense of achievement in coming because there was a struggle before we did. There were many things. When in the normal way, our visa was denied. I was in a situation where I got we had a scholarship, and the visa was denied 3 times. Well, declined 3 times, and I got it the 4th time.
Great.
Now that bit of the journey, these guys kind of, I think you guys experienced it. The songs we used to sing, the prayers we used to pray.
Yeah.
we prayed, there's the songs we used to pray that related to our moments. God of the mountain is God of the valley, for example. That kind of songs. Yeah. Anyway, So that was part of the journey. So there was a bit of a achievement as well in being here.
When you got here, did you feel like the expectations of like having a family and being a father looked like had changed as far as like societal expectations?
There are many. I mean, this is the changes because the adjustments. I think the adjustments of the life we lived, and here there was a bit of adjustments. There's a bit of adjustments in the sort of jobs that I could do. The jobs that I did, and for them may not have been very positive because I was kind of I had a better kind of status.
One of the I guess key things that families face when they migrate to Australia is that change in socioeconomic status.
Exactly.
Either because your qualifications aren't recognised here, or you're studying, and so there's certain jobs that you can do to be able to keep that visa. I guess the first question I think of is we're constantly told, this is me speaking as a woman, we're constantly told that men find so much pride in being able to provide into a certain way. And so I guess that change in what your provision in Kenya looked like versus here, even that change in status, how did you navigate that?
It's adjusting to do anything. That adjust, avoid the means in a way. I mean, when you've had status, it demeans in a way, when you're going to, sometimes going to work in the company, they would see me, going to work in the factory I've worked in the factory or working to do art sometimes. I think, I don't know, but I think sometimes they could see their struggles as well. Sometimes they could, so they're not happy about that, the fact that they see me struggle and from there. And that's been a big challenge over time. We've had different times when I did different things, and that instability was not always good. It was not always positive for the family. But the beauty now, one of the things we share these a lot. We get like birthdays, so we start to reflect on the journey. And one of the things that comes out is that one of the things that I've loved about you guys is sharing hearing the side of that experience. It's been, I think, for you, to the credit, you guys are like, you've journeyed along. It's been a struggle, but you've seen the victories as well.
Yeah.
You've seen the victories in a way that it has actually built resilience in a way of seeing, look, that's the way that I see it, that in a way that has played that way.
Just to add on that, sorry, I might answer the previous question, and then I'll tie it with that economic status. I think coming to Australia, it gave us an opportunity to do life together. It gave us an opportunity to do life together. So, like previously in Africa, or in Kenya, where by the time, because of that's where you're born and live, by the time you're like a teenager, the structure's already set up. You have your own friends, you have your own school, you have so you have a way of doing life, and sometimes your way of doing life is not so much intertwined within family if you're not careful. But
because you're at boarding school as well.
You're at boarding school, But now coming to Australia, that gave us, because we didn't have anyone else, so that gave us an opportunity to do life together. That gave us an opportunity to see dad and mom up close. So what that meant was, now when you're doing life together with people, there's a way that brings you close. There's a way that sort of grows you together. Even with my brothers, that made me super close with my brothers, because now I'm doing life with them, So now tying that to, I guess, socio-economic status, I think it was difficult seeing that change and that dynamic, because in my head I'm like, no, but dad doesn't do jobs like that. I'm used to him, talking to like board members and all that stuff. So seeing him change, I think was it was different. But I think what amazed me is seeing, I think coming to Australia, what I found is, coming to Australia, what it does, I think it challenges your foundations. It really tests your foundations. So in other words, the foundations of what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be an African? What does it mean to be a black man? I think those foundations get tested. So us coming here and seeing my dad, I saw how that got tested, but seeing how that foundation was tested and he was still able to stand tall as a man, that gave me even more admiration for my dad. And I'm gonna also give a plug. I'm really gonna give credit to my mom. I'm gonna give a huge credit to my mom, because if there's one thing I think she's done that I think really struck, because during that time when she was, because it was difficult. It was that changing of visa and needing to adjust just to make ends meet was really challenging. But one thing I think I saw my mom do is, not once have I heard my mom disrespect my dad or make any sly comment, or in front of us, or I've seen my mom uphold my dad in a certain way, and I don't know, that really provided stability in the house. So I'm gonna give credit to my mom. She really held it down in that front, and that made us maintain a certain image about our dad, and that even gave us more admiration for both him and the mom. So credit mom for that. Credit mom for that.
For real.
I think the support one for another has really helped us. One way or another, mom's there, and the kids have supported mom. I mean, they've support for one another. I think has been a major pillar for us as a family. the way that, you know, and mom is a big, you know, big girl about that. Big support for everyone. The fun bit as well. The fact that we can come back.
Oh, yeah.
We can
laugh it up.
something that was really something that would have brought anybody down.
Comedy house, man.
But we
Come and
can
laugh at that.
actually sit down and make a big joke out of it.
Yeah.
Somebody did something terrible to me or something terrible to somebody, Adam done, and we can laugh about something that was either racial or something and we can laugh it off.
Yeah.
From listening to that, it sounds like going through that journey allowed you to see your dad for who he was.
Yeah.
Not just as your dad, but like as a human. And I guess my question to the boys, do you have a memory or a time where you're like, wow, my dad really sees me, like he gets me? Like I'm not just his son.
Oh, I mean, there's a significant time that it rings both in our heads. This was when I think I was going through, is tumultuous the word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tumultuous is indeed the word.
Tumultuous is like, it's uneasy or...
Yeah.
Like tornado.
Yeah.
Turbulent.
Tumultuous. Let's take that from the top. No, I'm playing. There was time I was going through a pretty challenging time, and I guess out of the fear that was, I think I morphed it in my own mind. There was a fear of disappointing my dad and my mom, and so. Yeah, I think I've shared this with you guys as well. But yeah, I was going through that rough time, and I remember, I mean, because it got bad. Like the situation had gotten pretty dire, and I had to, it was one of those situations where you have to go and speak to dad. Like you can't hide it anymore. You can't sort of, you know? And so that was the habit that I built, was I was hiding it a little bit. And then I remember that one day that I went to dad's room and I cried my eyes out. And I cried my eyes out looking down. It was actually, and it's, so you make a joke out of it. It was pretty funny now that I look back at it, yeah? So I remember I was in the room. I mean, the time wasn't like funny, but like the way the reaction was. I was in the room and yeah, finished. Like I was just down in the dumps, so to speak, right? And I remembered, I don't know whether his dad had the day off or but dad's always working, you know, like he's always doing something, you know, whether he was working or not, he was working. And so, yeah, it was just me and him in the house. And I remember it was a bright day as well. Oh, it was a bright day, but my blinds were closed, yeah. My blinds were closed. And the amount, I could blame it. I really could blame it on the Holy Spirit, giving me enough strength to go up to dad. Because the image that I had of dad beforehand was that you're a guy that gets a lot of things right. You're an academic, you did well in school, you're able to do this and the other. Man of God, you know, like that was the view I had. And so like coming to tell you what I'm going through didn't seem like you would, I didn't think he could come down to my level where I was like in my imperfection. And so, yeah, man, the Holy Spirit walked me to my dad's room. My room is in the front of the house. Dad's room is way at the back. So it was a long walk. Because I contemplated going back into my room a couple times. But yeah, then I sat on the bed and I just reeled it off. And remember, this was the second time. Right? And so I reeled it off, everything that I was going through in that time. And I remember this moment so significantly because this was the moment I built a relationship with Dad, like proper, like not the typical father-son African household type of relationship where he's the disciplinarian and only walks in when you need the thorough beating. Your mom's beat you enough and now the dad needs to step in, tag team, let me go and do something. But it was more
top up.
that sealed the deal, you know what I mean? But at that point, and at that point he did not choose to stand on a pedestal, but he chose to come down and love me. And love me even at that point. And that changed so much. First and foremost, the weight on my shoulders was light now. Like I was carrying it for a while. And tell a lie, we went for breakfast at some point, and Dad tells me, I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, but Dad tells me he had a decision to make at that point. And it was either to sort of like, I don't know whether it was between two, it was between two options, crossroads, so to speak. And of course, the path that he chose was one that he loved and cared for me in the position where he was. But I'm assuming that the other one would have been a very rigid approach to like a very thorough disciplinarian sort of approach to my situation. And I thank God so much that he made that decision, because what we have now, it's nothing like what I had before. Like it was like what I had before was, this is just the head of the house. You know what I mean? He was just the guy that pays for everything and is the head of the house. And once again, seal the deal. But the bond that me and Dad have now, and yeah, man, it spilled into my spiritual life, spilled into just the way I approach life nowadays. And I remember I've mentioned this a couple of times during my testimony, but I think I found real joy at that point. So yeah, that's because of you. Yeah. Yeah.
Next. That really sounded like, when you were speaking, I was like, this sounds like someone sharing the gospel.
Yeah.
When you're like, in that moment, he made the option, like he made the choice to step down into my situation and love me where I was at. Yeah.
Proper replica of like Jesus love, you know, like, or God love in that regard. Yeah. No, for real. And then from that point, like it's continuously like in that walking together, like the foundation for me in that moment was tested, and then it gave me the opportunity, although it was challenging and was a pretty tumultuous situation, it gave me the opportunity to walk with my father, you know, like for real, not this fake one that people do. So
another side to that from the parent side, I think, is the fact that, and I don't mean this we try as much as possible not to make distinctions or compare. We try, and I told Joshi not long ago, Joshi is the most transformed person of the three. Where Joshi,
the hard head.
and where he has come to in terms of changes, I think Joshi has made more changes in his life. I hope.
I take that.
I already know that. And then it was challenging time. He would have gone the complete different way. You probably, and I mean, we didn't. I think sometimes I'm just thinking now, if I think probably would not, it couldn't have worked to be tough, to be the high-handed, is it high-handed? Heavy-handed,
Heavy-handed.
That, I think it wouldn't have worked. Yeah, I think it's worked there. She should really change. She used to have difficult times. Difficult moments.
We thank God. We thank God.
Tumultuous.
Turbulent.
From holiday. I remember, and I've never told you this.
Go on.
Mrs. What's it? Mrs. There was a.
Hey, I don't have law school money. Don't say names.
No.
In which class? Which class?
No. There's a name.
Which grade?
In class, not here.
In Kenya.
In long time in Kenya.
Yeah.
There was a name. Anyway, it's said, this child, is gonna be. She told me a lot of negative things about my child, and I said, in my heart, I'm just saying that no. I'm just saying a hard no. It's not gonna be. I'm in my view, and I'm saying, look, no, God, I'm not going to allow that to happen. It's not going to happen, because she had challenges.
Simply put, man. Simply
I
put.
had behavioral challenges.
Yeah.
But
Can we lean more into that? Because I think that's something I've noticed in my own relationship with my parents is that you have to parent each child differently according to how they are.
Yeah.
So I guess looking at the 3 boys, what is something that you came face to face with in parenting each of them that you're like, ooh, I have that. Like I see this in
them.
Yeah.
One of the things that with this cousin, I can't do it without bringing my relationship with God in. Is that I think we heard different words for them, every one of them. And it's interesting that you could see with every one of those came challenges that are peculiar to each one of them. And so knowing everyone in that way, so everyone had their own challenges, their own positive, not just challenges, but positive sides. Well. And the other side of it is that you see yourself in one of them. So you see that okay, that's him, but that's me. You be nice because that's me. And you see that mirroring me.
Yeah.
I may not like that me, but give me grace. I need grace to deal with that.
It's you.
So I've had to deal with that way. But again, I give a lot of credit to moms. The fact that it's been joined, we can talk over it. We can. I think partly it's been for us. It's not just dad looking after the kids or dad and not forgetting that these are boys. So mom is a mom. Okay? But on the other hand, that we've had that collaborative parenting, very to the extent that whatever challenges we've had to look at it. I don't know the answer to the answer. The answer to the question there.
To the boys. What is one thing that you'll take into your own journey with fatherhood that you've seen your dad do really well?
I think, Josh actually mentioned it earlier, and seeing how how dad has led with care is actually something that's, I don't know, just inherently been birthed to me, and continually learning on how to do that. There's one thing dad always mentions time and time again, that he hates seeing other people being mistreated. And I've started to share that that viewpoint and that perspective. So I think something that I am aspiring to, bring to, hey, my fatherhood. My goodness, that's that sounds crazy.
It's a multiverse.
Yeah, but
It's coming.
yeah, something just leading with care, I think is a very crucial thing, especially in this day and age. I know we look at the world and it seems so cruel, and it seems like love is almost non-existent, care is scarce. But I think, yeah, I've seen a perfect example in my home, that you can lead with care, and it's something I've been even now like doing amongst my friendships and even people I relate with, that I care not just of what they're doing but who they're becoming as well. And I think it's a good trait, a very positive trait in building and leading people to a better place. So yeah.
Really dope.
I think for me, something I will take from that is, I think leadership, and leadership from a point of, I think, casting vision for your family. I think that's something I've picked up from my dad, and something I want to carry on in my own. And just to give you an example, it sounded very, I don't know why, but that story has played in my head for some time. There's a time, my dad in our house in Kenya, he used to say, one day we are going to buy a plasma TV, or one day we're going to have a big screen TV, and you'll be able to watch, cartoons, or you'll be able to watch something. You'll be able to watch something. At that point, we didn't have.
We had the box.
Yeah, we had the box. Big guys.
Back then,
The one with the Kisoma.
And then back then we had the aerial as well, so like you had to go at the back
And bedtimes it didn't work.
and twist it.
Oh,
If it's too
yeah.
windy, if it's too windy, it's like the station.
Finish.
So you're gonna
Finish.
So, but I remember this one time he said, don't worry, we're gonna buy a plasma. And fast forward, we get to Australia, and okay, we probably don't have like the greatest TV, but at some point we do get a flat screen TV, and I don't know why, but it just dawned on me that that's what Dad said. That's what Dad said a while back, and we have it.
Come
So
on.
in my head, I'm like, I don't know. There's a way I admired that. I admired my dad saying, "This is where we're going."
Yeah.
And one way or another, we see traction towards that.
Yeah.
Towards that destiny. It might not look the way we want, but there's some traction towards that, and that is a trait I really admired from my dad. So in my head, I'm like, when I become a man in my own house or a father, that is something I would like to do.
Yeah.
Cast vision.
Wow, that was a good one. That was a very good one. Well, I'd say the same thing. But I guess in addition to what Isaac and Elijah have said, I think I'm sold on. I'm really sold on. If I was to take one thing, because there's a lot of things we can take from that. I think we constantly make a joke, and sometimes we'd observe Isaac, and we'd be like, that's what Dad usually does. Or we'd observe Elijah a bit more frequent times, and it'd be like, this guy's Melvin the second,
Yeah.
But there's a lot I could take from you, Dad. One I was thinking about it as these guys were talking, was you didn't give up. you didn't give up. And when I say that, I say that in so many different ways I could point to. You didn't give up, and more so, like, you didn't give up on, like, following God's, like, telling you to do things, because, as you mentioned before, you could have been mad rich back at home. We could have been in a much better position and he reveals that to us now. That we could have been, as a family, we could have been in a much better position when we were back in Kenya. But he chose to follow God's will and come to Australia, where it became harder and then more expensive, more challenging in very many different ways. In a place where we don't quite have an immediate support system, and I think someone who's devoted to God does that. And I thank God that you have been a devoted, like, I would love to have that same devotion to God that you have emulated in your life. There's so, yeah, and man, there's so, I'm thinking of a couple, but yeah, I would say your resilience in following God, which spills into every other aspect of your life, your resilience to follow God has caused your family to be where it's at the moment. And I'm pretty sure you're pleased. So, yeah, I think that your resilience in following God, regardless, is one thing that I would love to emulate in my fatherhood. Yeah.
This is my last question to round us off, and it's for everyone. From your perspective, how does a present father impact not just his children, but the wider community?
Yeah, I think.
No,
Yeah,
go
go
for
ahead,
it. Go
go
for
for
it.
I think one of the things that see, for example, I see these guys, because of the home, they're always also impacting the community. I mean, we're having a youth camp, Joshua is leading it. We have church. In fact, church is built largely on the fact that they're there. So that has created also has impacted. They have also individually impacted because of home. Because of home, they've been able to impact other young people. Because we, in our ministry, we really, the young people, children and youth are a big thing, are a big thrust of the ministry we go into. So we couldn't do it without, one, the example to lead by. I mean, if these guys, if we were leading kills and you're leading, and these guys are, sorry, for lack of a better word, if they were, I don't know that I can use that word here, if they were rascals and we wouldn't be without the moral authority or moral standing to be able to lead other people because we're community. And then, that's the example. People are able to see, right? So when we drawing other young people, we're able to see. And then these people, these guys are also in their way, also leaders in their own right there. And so they're influencing others in their own way. Elijah is the leader of the youth in church. Joshua is leading the youth, like the camp, the youth camp in Kenos. We have another fellowship, it's called Kenya Australian Fellowship. So he's going to be leading Isaac in his teaching and mentoring others and following other people the way so the base has been home. Because I'll tell you as a parent, let me just say, they're not bad. I don't know whether they're not hard. Thieves come from home.
That's right.
Facts.
The same way engineers come from home.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the reality. And the reality, and one of the worst things that sometimes happens is, and I deal with, I've had kids who will call and say, you know, the daddy of the community is different from daddy at home. That's terrible. Because the children, you can tell them all you want to tell them, but at the end of the day, who you are is what really. And they tend to be either the males follow after the dad, the females follow after them. You see a female child that has challenges in female challenges, they relate normally to them. That's my observation. Could be naive, but my observation, and the boys as well. They'll model their male parents. So yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, just to add on what Dad has said, that it's really a well that you can draw from, if I could use an analogy, that if you're not getting the example at home, it's very hard, especially nowadays that, you know, we have so much access to people, though you don't really spend that much time. And considering how short and small our attention span are, that you're not really interacting at a deeper level with the people that, you know, are influencing you, especially even if they're like it's face to face. Outside of the home, I would I'd question how much you're able to interact like consistently and frequently with people outside the home. So if for me, I've seen home as a sort of this well that I draw from, that thankfully and fortunately I've seen positive actions being implemented and exemplified here, that as I go outside, it's easier to, you know, to replicate that. So I just thought of that analogy of a well that
you draw from.
I draw from home.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I think for me, the importance of a father in, you know, a family and in a community, I think it is fundamental. I think it is so important. It is so important, and I think sometimes it gets missed because it is not expressed probably the way it is. Men in general don't talk as much as women. Men don't talk as much as women. So I think the essence of fatherhood does not get expressed enough. It's not being shouted on the rooftops like other themes in our society.
Yeah.
But it is so pivotal because literally I will copy what I see. So I literally copy what I see.
Creatures
so if
of habit.
I don't, and I will see what my dad does, and and I think even just to draw it, I guess from a point of faith, I think discipleship is, because that's what it is. Walking with people, training people to be a certain way. That's the aim. That's what culture is doing. That's what that's what culture is doing. That's what communities are doing. That's what the systems of this world are doing. It is forcing you to walk in a certain way. So the aim of the game is who can disciple who. So I think the way the system, or the way the way God has set it up, is that parents have been parents are the most equipped people to train children in a certain way or a certain direction. They're the most equipped. And so unfortunately, due to lack of reasons and many arguments that we could make to why parents are not doing that, when they don't meet that role, when they don't fulfill that role, those are very difficult shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Those are very difficult shoes to fill. And I guess when it comes to even individuality, you've just heard like my dad, how he has described walking with Josh, completely different to walking with me, completely different to walking with Isaac. And that's just within the three of us. Now you can imagine that, expanding that within just 10 people. 10 people who are coming from very different DNAs, very different backgrounds. Those are tough shoes to fill in when parents are not involved, because they are the most equipped. So I think I say all that to say that fatherhood is such an important shoe within, I will speak, to be honest, for a man. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot, anyway, I say that because I think, unfortunately, I have heard stories of what it means to not have a father, a present father, that not even just a father, but a present father, and it is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. And you can, even in the stories, and guys don't tell it to you on the face, but you can just hear the cry of,
Yeah.
I don't have a dad.
Yeah.
I don't have a dad. And so I feel very privileged. I feel very privileged, very honored that I do have a present dad, but at the same time, I feel like that it should be the case. It should be the case that a father is present in a household. And that's what he needs to do. If he is present, that solves a lot of problems. I feel like it solves a lot of problems if a father is just present in a household. It solves a lot of problems. So,
Yeah. That's just really good. Well put. I think the same goes for me. I think there's such a significant role of fathers within a community, and I could draw from, I think it was God's doing for man and wife to be together, and then offspring come from that, and that construct was very important. That construct of having, and as Dad said before, like he can't go without mentioning mom. And I'm sure if you ask mom can't go without mentioning dad. And because both those pillars are what support the roof over the home, I think within the community, what I've observed, as I think from Dad, we've all shared the gene of having a heart for the youth. I feel like it stemmed from there. And so with that comes a lot of a very keen eye to how the youth respond to different things. Or I don't know, I pay close attention to it, and especially here in Melbourne of more recent events, I guess. Very many times you could draw, majority of the time you can draw a lot of someone's well-being from where they come from. And it's not to say that that's the be-all end-all, because there's still parents that try their very best, and there's those extraneous variables, right? But I think there's such a safe place when you have a father in your life. As Dad said before, and I've low-key just reflected on it now. Imagine you didn't be the person that you were to me. It's almost in a light way, but not so light way. As David said, like, if it had not been for God, where would Israel be? Like, each and every one of us had I could probably speak for me and Elijah, probably not so much Isaac, but me and Elijah we could point to times where going not so well. You know what I mean? And so having a father figure, in that regard, like that's your first authority that you can recognize. That's your first male authority that you can recognize. And very many, like, it's hard to encapsulate all of it into words, but the father is so important. And I can draw from my experience with my dad, because there's no Josh, there's no Isaac, there's no Elijah without this man. You know, there's no Elijah playing drums up until now. There's no Isaac playing keys until now. There's no Josh singing now without dad. There's no Owezo Liberty Church where the men's ministry is now growing without dad. You know, so like there's more than just the nuclear impact, like the nuclear family impact or the household impact. There's a broader influence that comes from a family staying together because there's a priest, and therefore being an example first and foremost, but then also the amount of guys that, just between us three, the amount of guys we've spoken to and sort of given wisdom to, and not to say that we're wise or this is God's wisdom, right? The amount of things that, let me point to one example. Sorry, let me point to one example. It was Isaac's birthday, and I had sat with one of our friends on the carpet in the garage, and yeah, I mean, I was just telling him about stuff. Telling him about, you know, I was just reeling off the things that my dad has once told me. But this guy was responding to me like, bro, where'd you get this, bro? Like, bro, you're spinning right now. Like, you're like, hey, man, you're dropping bar after bar after bar. Not knowing that these are things that dad has just reeled into us ever since. You know, like, these are valuable things. Even though, like, at some points, we didn't want to hear it. At some points, we definitely didn't want to hear it. But because I have a father in my life with that role of imparting insight from an experiential level, from a wisdom and a knowledge level, there gets to be influence in the broader community. And so just as Dad said before, thieves come from a home. Engineers and presidents and prime ministers and the people that discover new stuff, like, all of them come from a home as well. And so I could point to the importance of the very importance of having a father figure in someone's life. Yeah.
I have a last question. Oh, because you said something else, like, let's talk about it. This one's for you. What strategies did you employ to parent from a place of health and abundance, not trauma and deficit?
Yeah. Wow. Damn. Yeah.
I think it's God. I can't put it in another way. It's God who I think God has been gracious. God has been gracious. Yes, serving God, I think, has been, I can't put it in another way. It's grace, because everybody tries. I mean, everybody does it. People who probably worked harder than myself. People who have worked much more than myself, and to see the blessing. When God says, I will bless you, He's real. That I have experienced a blessing through family. You know, where I can only, but, you know, no one cast his child. I have been a place only when I will die blessing my children. I bless them, and I will literally, I've never had a moment. Actually, I have never had a moment to think, I wish I didn't have that child. I wish I had another child. In fact, I have never wished for other. I've never wished I had a gal.
Come on, boys. Come on.
Thank God is blessing me with gals, with their ladies now.
Yeah.
Marvelous daughters and all. But yeah, so never. So it really came from God. I can only. I can't get it in, I can't say that it's because of my dad, because, which he did a lot, but knowing God has been the source of wisdom. And again, it's not that one that, you get just things that come that really draw from God without you consciously, I didn't consciously get something, because again, knowing that everyone is different, because I didn't have there's no rules for taking care of Joshua in the Bible. Because can be challenges, and God has been great. So that come from God. And then this one, listen to this one, because then God puts brings in the name of a gem called Mama. We've done life together, pretty much.
I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.